Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Mattathias. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
What we got?
New World Order.
Let's come on. Go to the first one, man. Go ahead.
Let's now look at the typical sequence of events going on inside a country that produces these rises and declines. In a nutshell, the big cycle typically begins after a major conflict, often a war, establishes the new leading power and the new world order. Because no one wants to challenge this power, a period of peace and prosperity typically follows. As people get used to this peace and prosperity, they increasingly bet on it continuing. They borrow money to do that, which eventually leads to a financial bubble. The empire's share of trade grows, and when most transactions are conducted in its currency, it becomes a reserve currency, which leads to even more borrowing. At the same time, this increased prosperity distributes wealth unevenly, so the wealth gap typically grows between the rich haves and the poor have-nots. Eventually, the financial bubble bursts, which leads to the printing of money and increased internal conflict between the rich and the poor, which leads to some form of revolution to redistribute wealth. This can happen peacefully or as a civil war. While the empire struggles with this internal conflict, its power diminishes relative to external rival powers on the rise. When a new rising power gets strong enough to compete with the dominant power that is having domestic breakdowns, external conflicts, most typically wars, take place.
Stop.
Out of these.
So, doesn't that sound real familiar?
Yeah,
right. That sounds very familiar.
What's going on today?
Now, we saw in the beginning of the uprising, you know, America, they were a nation on the uprise, okay? But in 1942, that's when it happened. That's when they emerged as the power. Right. They were already on the rise, but 1942, that war conflict, that's when they took over as the dominant force on the earth. Now, we jumping, fast forwarding, when they got to the peak, all of that spending, okay? Right. A lot of people don't realize America is actually $300 trillion in debt.
Right.
People don't understand that. Why? Because they've been doing nothing but what? Printing more money. Yeah, and by doing that, they had a lot of government bailouts, right? But in doing that, when you bail them out, there's still nothing backing it. There's still nothing coming in. The debts are still there. So you fall into even more debt.
Yeah,
right.
Okay? So people don't realize that America's actually been on decline for a long time. It's just now reaching its head. Now you're starting to see it. The more money you print, what happens over time? There's something called inflation that's going to take place. That's why you're seeing the average gas price now is over $4 per gallon.
That's it.
The average gas price. Some places are $6, $7, man. Hey, You said, what'd you say? You got a call? We got a call? No, sir. Okay. Go to the next article. All right, but yeah. Did we finish that video? I wanted to interject.
No.
We had some more on it?
Yeah.
Okay, go back to the video. I apologize.
These internal and external wars come new winners and losers. Then the winners get together to create the new world order. And the cycle begins again.
Now, that's the thing about it. It ain't a cycle gonna begin again.
Bring it out.
Nah, we gonna reign
Israel
forever. That
coming
kingdom,
back.
That's right.
we read earlier in Daniel
Right.
2:44, we gonna reign forever.
Right.
China think they're gonna slip up in, nah. Now we know what's gonna happen to China, but that's what we see right here. The beautiful thing is that all we have to do is endure to the end,
That's
and we don't have to see another cycle of the same thing. We already saw enough cycles. We saw Egypt, we saw Assyria, we seen Babylon,
All of them.
Persian Medes, we seen Greece,
Yeah.
Rome, United States of America. We don't want to see another cycle of the different the different orders. We don't want to see that no more.
Right.
This time we want to see us ruling,
Right.
and keep it that way.
That's right.
Should on cap on the real quick. All right, as you see on the decline, I know we got a call.
You said we got a call?
Yeah.
All right, go pick up the call before they hang up.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, Shalom, sis. Hey, Shalom, caller. What's your question or your comment?
I'm calling. This is just a little bit off topic, just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, you know how the prophets were just in Tijuana doing the blitz, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see today that there was a massive crack in Tijuana and a mudslide after the prophets left after the blitz?
Well, look at that.
Right.
All
Look
praises.
at that thing
Yeah.
right now. You said it was a massive mudslide.
Praise.
Because the
Massive cracks in the earth.
Prophets was there.
Is this Captain Mattathias?
Yes, ma'am. This is Captain Mattathias. Shalom, sis.
Shalom, this is Sister Ayana from IUIC Philadelphia. But
Oh,
yeah, there
okay.
were massive cracks in the earth in Tijuana, Mexico, and a massive mudslide. And I was like, wow, because that happened in Philly when the prophets came to Philadelphia.
The flood came through.
After
Yep.
they-
Come and look at this.
There was a flood like I've never seen. I've been in Philadelphia, in the suburbs of Philadelphia, my entire life. I've never ever seen anything like that. And when they left Tijuana, like after they did the blitz, I was like, wow, that is amazing. Like they activated the angels, like we know that they do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hey.
all praises to the Most High for that.
All praises. Give him the most
All
high the glory
praises.
for that thing. Give me that in Luke 21 as we see the day approaching. We're going to see these things. Thank you for calling in, sis. All right, we're going to
Yeah,
see
but
these
look it
things.
up.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
would you-
I want you to look it up.
Yeah, we're going to look into it, sis. No doubt, no doubt. Thank you. Give me that in Luke 21 real quick. And then what's that one? Isaiah 29:6.
Right. The book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 20.
Come on.
And when you see, and when you,
11.
verse 11.
Come on.
And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs.
Right, the earthquakes, the fearful sights, that must like the prophets came and warned the people of the judgment to come. And guess what?
That's
There were
right.
many people who said, nah. But guess what? That was their opportunity to hear the word of God, and they were marked.
Bring it up.
Right.
That's why you see things like that happen. The prophets show up, we prophesy to warn the people, and then judgment comes.
Damn.
Because nobody can say that they didn't have a chance to hear the truth. They didn't have a chance to repent. Now give me that in Isaiah 29:6.
Bring it out.
Isaiah chapter 29:6. I'll give it back to you, Officer David, after
No,
this.
hey, all praise God. Bringing it out.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 6.
Come on.
Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts.
Come on.
With thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire.
You know, hey, that goes into what? The wildfires too? That be breaking out.
Right.
I understand that is all judgment sent by the Lord.
That's
Finish that
right.
out. That's it on that?
Verse 7.
Okay, that's it on that. Hey, you were talking about something. I forgot the point we were making.
Yes, sir. So the rise and fall of the different kingdoms. All right, you were saying, all right, ain't no, all right, on other kingdoms coming behind America. All right, the Israelites will be taking over this world.
Right.
All right, after this. But every kingdom goes through a period of a decadence.
Right.
On where they go all out for the people. And we seen this the past on a few years through the mosquito bite, where they had to put all these on the payments out, and then this year is on the tax season as we're going through the wars. All right, and so the people are still getting money back as the gas prices is going up, the food prices is going up. All right, and so the people don't really see the hit towards them.
Right.
I mean, but once all of this on the die down, the people will go through that period of famine and on the hardship on the way they will be on the suffering. So,
Lord have mercy.
yeah. All right, on Lord have mercy. I like that sound back. But this on the kingdom is on the way down. I know, all right, the world on the things China or Russia is on about to rise up, but it ain't gonna happen like that.
No,
all right,
not at all.
Christ is coming back.
Hey, go to the next article.
This is Twitter. Dr. Robert Malone. When you see the government responding in this coordinated fashion.
Play the video. It's all good.
Very aggressive media coordination and tax. It's kind of a tell that there's something going on beneath the surface that is triggering them. And at this right now, it is absolutely a developing story, and one that I anybody who cares about these things should track, in my opinion. Very aggressive media.
Right. So when he's talking about a very aggressive media, he's talking about the situation with Russia. Okay, he's saying the way that the West is attacking the media. What they're trying to do is like cover up a hole. You know, when you have a leak, you do any and every. Say you got company coming over, you'll step on it. You just say, I knocked my phone down. You'll step on the leak, and then if you got to walk away, you'll put a towel over it. You're doing anything and everything to cover up that hole.
Right.
You understand? And that's what America's doing. So he's saying when you see things like that, it's obvious that America's trying to cover something up.
Right.
Okay. Real quick, give me that in Isaiah 29 and 15. Okay, read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 15.
Come on.
Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord. And their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us? And who knoweth us?
Right, they say, who seeth us, who knows us? Because their works are in the dark. But we bring it out all the time, like Psalm 64. Their own people is bringing this stuff out, and they're falling on their own tongue, man.
Right.
And they're being exposed for who they really are. And then don't forget 1 Maccabees 3. Never forget that, you know, when we see all of this stuff going on in the earth, the wars between these different nations, it's all about the children of Israel. You can't forget that. So, you know, if you're trying to understand why these things occur, it's all for you. It's all for you, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
That's right.
3 and 52. Read that.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 52.
Come on.
And lo, the heathen are assembled together against us to destroy us.
Right. They're assembled together to destroy us. Read.
What things they imagine against us, thou knowest.
Right. We don't know it. We don't know the leaps and the bounds. We don't know the exact dots. We don't know everything that they are really conjuring up. It could be. Well, it is probably worse than what you could ever imagine.
Right.
You understand? So, what we got? We got 8 minutes left. You had something, Officer Elijah.
Yeah, I was finna say, Cap, no matter how much they try to hide what they're doing, they can try to hide it, but God sees everything. The scriptures say God's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun.
Better said.
Nothing they can do, they can hide it. And at the end of the day, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4, it tells us that God say the man of sin going to be revealed. No matter how much cover he hide up under, God can uncover you. Read that.
The book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2 and verse 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped.
I think it's verse 3.
Yeah, verse 3.
Verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first,
Read.
and that man of sin be revealed.
So understand, no matter how much they control their media, they do this big front in front of the media and use it to confuse people. God said you're going to be revealed. So that's going to happen. It's inevitable.
Hey, let's go to the next tab. What else we got? All right, read that.
U.S. warns China not.
Is that from Fox News? Oh, New York Times. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
U.S. warns China not to help Russia. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan on Monday explicitly warned his Chinese counterpart of the possible consequences of any assistance Beijing might give Russia in its war with Ukraine. Officials said after an alleged recent request from Moscow for military equipment and aid.
Right. It says after an alleged. I'm sorry. Read that part again when it says official said. Right there. I can barely see it.
Officials said after an alleged recent request from Moscow for military equipment and aid.
Right. Aid to Russia from China. Right. So America's like, nah. They see that the relationship has grown because what is America's plan? They're trying to starve out Russia. They're trying to kill their economy. Right. But Russia's very bold right now because it has a backup plan. Right. All right. It's not worrying about SWIFT because they got their own monetary plan that they're conjuring up right now to be in competition to the United States of America and the rest of the world. All right. So they're America's scared right now. Right. Because they see the power shifting, but most importantly, they see the boldness. They see that nobody is scared anymore. People are talking reckless. Right. All right. Go to the next article. I know we got about 5 minutes. Want to get down the rundown. All right. Go ahead and read that.
This is AmericanMilitaryNews.com. China threatens U.S. with strong and resolute response if sanctioned over Ukraine. Chinese government spokesperson warned last week that China would deliver a strong and resolute response if the U.S. sanctions China for its stance on the ongoing Russian invasion of Ukraine. In a Thursday press conference, the Chinese state-run television station CCTV asked Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Li Jianzhao to respond to U.S. criticism that it had not taken a strong enough response in condemning Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The Chinese official responded by saying, those who accuse China of standing on the sidelines on the Ukraine issue should ask themselves these questions. What roles have they played in this crisis?
So China's like, hey, y'all not finna come for us, bro.
Yeah, right.
No.
Nah. So we see that the narrative.
You're gonna learn today.
Just like we watched in the video, the order is starting to change, man. Right. That's what we see. America is losing all of its presence, not its presence, but all of its force in the earth. Right. Okay, because I don't know if y'all paid attention to that diagram. As the empire starts to decay, you always have somebody on the rise. Right. And eventually in that matrix, what are they going to do? They're going to cross paths. Right. And that's going to be World War III. All right. So we're seeing the beginning stages of that. All right. But hey, we just got to stay tuned. Matthew 26:41 real quick. All right. This is the Writings on the Wall radio show. Your place for End Times News. So we keeping our eyes open, all right, making sure we keeping up with what's going on in these last days like we are commanded to do. That's right. Read what you got.
Matthew chapter 26 and verse 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation.
Right, watch and pray. The scripture commands us to watch and pray. We need to see what's going on in these last days. That's right. Another good one. Let me hear 1 Thessalonians 5. Start at 1. Let me hear that real quick.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1.
And then Matthew 26:41. I forgot the latter part. We have to watch and pray, meaning as we see the days approaching, we got to make sure our spirit is also right. Okay? So we got to continue to pray for ourselves and one another. All right, read what you got.
Thessalonians?
Yep.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1.
Come on.
But of the times and of the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
Right. That's he said I shouldn't have to write to you about the times. Brothers and sisters, if you don't know what's going on, shame on you. That means you don't believe. That means you're not taking this truth serious. So understand that. We shouldn't have to tell you what times we're living in. You should be spiritual enough and make sure you studying and watching and doing your own studying by yourself too. That's right. You know what I'm saying? To know what's going on in these last days. Okay. Let's go to the next article. We got a caller? All right, let's answer that. Hey, Shalom, caller, what's your question or your comment?
Hello?
Hey, Shalom says, what's your question or your comment?
Hi. Yes, let me just cut you off for a little bit. I don't know, I was reading the scriptures today, and what I gathered is that even though sometimes he writes symbolically, but I realized everything that he talks about when he talks about Red Sea, which means, the multitude and so forth, that it's all synonymous to the Edomites. even the Red Sea at times.
Sis, what camp you with?
I'm actually not in a camp yet. I'm usually at home, but I do realize that everything has to do with red dragon, red this, red that, red sea, and where sometimes it's literal, sometimes it's symbolic to the people who are ruling Israel.
Okay, yeah, the red dragon, yeah, definitely going into the so-called white man Edomites. Biblically, that's what they're known as. So yeah, definitely. Hey, appreciate you calling in, sis.
Yes, okay, thank
Hey,
you.
shalom, Messiah, Christ bless. Hey, let's go to the next article.
This is RTnews.com. Yuan deposits replace dollar and euro in Russian banks.
You see that says that's the currency.
Right.
Yuan deposits replace dollar and the euro in Russian banks. So Russia, we say we good. We not worried about how y'all trying to affect our economy. We already got a backup plan with China.
Right.
All right. Read some of that. Actually, 33 seconds. Go to the next article. Sheesh.
I'll go fast.
Yeah, we got to. Yeah, play that.
And we have data from international organizations that show that social problems, even in the leading Western countries, have exacerbated in recent years. There is more inequality, there is a bigger chasm between poor and rich. We see more and more racial and ethnic conflicts. This myth about Western society, about this
Long ass horn.
Can you play the video, please?
so-called golden billion is getting destroyed. Now the entire planet has to pay for the ambitions of the West, for their attempts by any means to preserve their domination in the world that is slipping away.
You see that? He said that domination in the world that is slipping away.
Right,
IT, please tell me y'all got that video that I put in the group, the last one that I wanted for topic 2. Please tell me you got it ready. All right, play that, please.
Tim, what's on your radar?
Well, Russia and
can't
China
see. Okay,
issued
go
a
ahead.
joint statement declaring a friendship between the two nations that knows no limits, that directly challenges the United States as the global power, criticizes the expansion of NATO and other military alliances, as well as points the finger at the U.S. for using excuses of spreading democracy in order to engage in hostile actions.
Stop.
They basically...
Right. They're calling America alpha who they are. They're teaming up Russia and China.
Right.
It's like enough is enough.
Right.
You're done.
I'm sick of it.
Yeah, what do you say? Your dominance is slipping away.
Right.
All right. Go ahead.
He said in this statement that the once weaker kids on the block are now bigger and stronger and won't take the West crap anymore.
Uh-oh.
So we're going to go over some
Damn.
sections of this 12-page statement. And while we do, remember that this was issued on February 4th. 20 days before Russia invaded Ukraine. No one really paid attention to this document when it was released. They just figured Russia and China were posturing and pretending to be all
Hey,
big
I remember
and
writings on the
powerful.
wall
Don't
went over
worry.
this article.
They're
Right, sir.
Go ahead.
no bite. They're still too small, they claimed. And then the invasion happened. The West attempted sanctions on Russia and tried to cut them off from the world. And I've argued that all it really did was speed up the transition away from one global currency and one global power towards the multipolar world order Russia and China declared was coming only a month ago. You see, people have been arguing that there's no way China's SIPs could replace SWIFT. They say their currency is too weak or unstable to replace the dollar as the global currency. But maybe the goal, at least this first step goal, isn't to replace these systems, but rival them instead, like MasterCard to Visa or Pepsi to Coke. Next thing you know, they might be Facebook to MySpace. Start off the smaller of the two, only to clobber them a few years down the line.
Stop.
After all,
Stop. So they got a plan. They're trying to knock America off, man.
Right.
And understand, that's what's happening. The Most High putting the spirit on these nations to do that.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us a spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.